urging lenders to revisit risk controls as the credit cycle turns for the first time in a very, very long time. Now, speaking of those banks, Zion's topped estimates despite a $50 million loss from an alleged fraud, helping reassure investors who feared the credit markets might expose deeper pain. Bloomberg Intelligence senior analyst Herman Chan says that the bank showed solid credit quality despite the charge-off, and he joins us now. So, Herman, is this nothing to see here? We can move on.
Yes, I think Zions did reassure the market that there was no other cracks within credit quality. And really, they mentioned that only 4 basis points of charge-offs outside of that $50 million that you mentioned earlier. So really good showing all around.
How much is it the all clear, though? We were looking at the pre-market share price. It was rallying first, and now it's given back some of that. It has yet to reach the level that it was before it announced that it had this exposure to an alleged fraud. Are there still concerns, at least for a wider investor base, that maybe there's a reason not to fully price things back to where they were?
Yeah, I think investors are still sort of trying to suss out the management team's comments from the call yesterday in terms of what the lessons learned and really what could they have done to prevent an issue that occurred. So really, we'd like to hear more from the management teams in terms of their due diligence, what their outside party is looking at in terms of findings, and I think there are additional questions that need to be resolved.
Well, we might get some answers, maybe, from Western Alliance earnings today. What are you looking out for from them?
That's right. So Western Alliance has 2 problematic issues: the First Brand's indirect exposure, and also the same issue with the borrower with Zion. So I'm sure the management team will address those in their lending to non-bank financial institutions. But we do expect credit quality to be pretty solid all across the board for them as well.
Still, what you continue to hear, and just talking about David Solomon saying this, that this is idiosyncratic, it's not a systematic issue, but then goes on to say, this is what happens when the credit cycle turns. Is this a credit cycle that is turning right now? And if it is, what does it mean for some of these regional lenders?
I think we're seeing a slow turn. I'm not sure the dial is ratcheting higher. I would say that the earnings quality and credit quality for the regional banks that have reported thus far in 3Q earnings has been pretty solid across the board. We're seeing declining non-performers, criticized loans improving. So these are early warning signs that aren't really showing the cracks that the market was sort of worrying about last week.
Well, you feel the worry. The market feels primed for any wobble to sell off, although we are coming back somewhat, not for Zion's this morning, though. Herman, thank you so much for joining. Always a pleasure to have you on. Herman Chan of Bloomberg Intelligence.